It's time for a new challenge on this channel, and around these parts, don't we love a rebuilder? And if there is one team, aside from the Detroit Red Wings, that really sums up what a rebuilder is in today's NHL, it is the Los Angeles Kings. Now, that is not to say that it's a bad thing. In the 2010s, the Kings won 2 Stanley Cups, and that's what you want to see when your team is in rebuilding mode, is the success that came before it. So yeah, while it sucks to see the likes of Kyle Clifford, Tyler Toffoli, and Alec Martinez traded recently, of course those 3 players stand out, having been on the ice, involved in the points for the cup-winning goal against the Rangers, not that long ago. Actually, it was a while ago, and sorry Rangers fans, I know that type of wound does not go away. While it sucks to see, the core of the team that brought you success slowly start to just be torn apart, at least the success was there before, and our goal in this series is to bring success back to Los Angeles slowly but surely. And it might take a while because, God, this team is, they are not good. Now, a quick little bit of housekeeping as we get in to this episode, because this is a setup episode. And you're going to see the same thing with the other series that started today. Check that video out if you haven't already. No spoilers here. But with a start of a new series, I always like to get input from you as far as what you would like to see. The other series that is starting is the more gimmicky style, the more fantasy-based. This is going to be more of a straightforward rebuild, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to hear from you guys in terms of potential rules and limitations. Now, when it comes to something like this, I don't like to immediately just trade I'm not trading Kopitar. I'm not going to immediately try to trade Jonathan Quick and get rid of that contract. I like to take it slow and steady, and if you watched the Florida Panthers series recently, you know that. We didn't immediately get rid of Sergei Bobrovsky. So, this type of series as it is, I already kind of have self-imposed rules, but I'm not against hearing from you guys as far as hey, what else should I or shouldn't I be allowed to do in terms of the process of rebuilding this team? If you think back last year to the Carolina Hurricanes series, where we did have a lot of set rules in terms of trying to make it more difficult, factoring in real life no trades and no movements, factoring that in as well when I negotiated new contracts with the players throughout, since those 2 things are not a feature in the game. There's a lot that we could do. Or it could be pretty straightforward and you could just say, nope, turn this team into a dynasty by any means necessary. And again, that's why I want to hear from you guys. Let me know. What do you think? What do you want to see from this series? How difficult do we want to make it on ourselves? And again, if you need a reminder, go check out that Hurricane series. The rules were in the description for that in terms of when I was allowed to, trade away people, how I was allowed to sign people. I mean, we tried to make that as difficult as possible for the most part, and I'm not against doing it again. That said, we are, of course, using my custom rosters for this series. Now, again, roster sharing is not currently a thing, which is devastating. The good news is EA did put out their post-trade deadline roster update, I believe the day or 2 days after deadline day, which was phenomenal on their part. For me, that doesn't do much. It does mean, unfortunately, that, draft picks aren't up to date for me, but I do so much other work. As you know, if you follow the editing doc, I do so much other work in terms of adding in players, editing overalls and potentials to make it, in my opinion, more realistic. So, everyone's in the right spot. As up to date as the deadline is, as up to date as, Jake Muzzin and William Carrier having their new contract extensions. All of that is in. Unfortunately, though, with draft picks, it's not. But again, I prefer to, see the fruits of my labor in terms of putting in the work that I do, as opposed to just being like, oh, well, the picks are updated, so it is what it is. That said, though, for this first season, computer trading is off. We will not be making a single move with this roster until the first off season at the earliest. That is to actually see how these new rosters play out with people, being on the teams that they are currently on in today's NHL. So before we look at our team, just a quick little look, around the league for an example. Like, here's how the AI has set up Anaheim with David Backes, of course, being on the third line. On the editing dock, of course, I factor in, retention as far as all that goes. So everything's up to date aside from the draft picks, which kind of sucks. For me, it's not a series ruiner, though, at all. Let me know, by the way, if you want me to scroll through all these. I can. I always find it interesting to see how the AI is setting up. Like Nick Ritchie and Andre Kasha are there. Again, through the editing dock, we update overalls, we update potentials, we do it multiple times throughout the year. You're going to see names, overalls and numbers that you agree with, that you disagree with, and that's all well and good. So I think that pretty much covers everything, because with the Kings, we're not going to have success in this first season, but it's getting input from you as far as potential limitations, and that'll, of course, change how I choose to approach this first off season that we're going to have here, because this is the team. This is the team right now to start. It's not good. This is one of the worst teams, non-expansion, non-draft to glory, that we've ever started with. And obviously the thought is try to just get whatever I can for Brown and Carter almost immediately. Kopitar, of course, I'd love to keep. We'll see how that factors in. But then from there, it's rough between, the Kempes and the Afalas of the world. Like, middle six options. Hopefully, like Carl Grunstrom's there. Decent option. We do have decent options down in the AHL. Anderson, Dolan, Kupari, and Velarde are all solid. Unfortunately, defensively, you got Clegg and Bjornfot, but in terms of elite, like literally by definition, medium elite prospects, that there aren't any on this team. Goalie-wise, again, you see our NHL defense right now. It's not good. It really isn't. And then goaltending-wise, it's not good. And obviously, getting rid of that would be nice. He's not that expensive, but oh God, Jonathan Quick. It's going to be a process to turn this team around. And I don't often like using teams that have won cups recently, but needless to say, this LA Kings team is far, far away from ever winning anything again, unless we have some EA shenanigans on our side that might just help us get back into contention sooner rather than later. And, boy, that first draft with Askarov seems promising, but we've used that guy a lot, and maybe we don't look to get him. So I'm going to leave it at that. Looking forward to seeing what you have to say as far as your potential excitement or disappointment with this series. Any suggestions for potential limitations, or just whether or not you'd prefer to just see us go for it. Like I said, the rosters are all updated. No moves will be made before this upcoming offseason. So the first episode, next episode, call it what you will. I don't know if I'll call this episode 0 or not, but we will be, taking over really at that point and seeing what we can do in terms of rebuilding this team, which is not going to be easy, again, by any stretch of the imagination. So again, I hope you are looking forward to this series. If you are, again, I gotta do whatever YouTuber does, or whatever YouTuber says they're not gonna do, because they're better than that. Drop a like on the video, support the channel, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out everything in the description as well when it comes to all the socials, with the Twitters, the Instagram, and Discord, and Twitch, of course, where we stream almost every single night. And of course, Patreon's an option as well for those of you who are feeling that a little bit of extra generous, that little bit of extra generosity for that, that little bit of bonus content that is out there. That is an option as well. So I will see you guys soon, where we truly get started with this series, trying to turn this awful, awful Kings team back into a winner. And just for the record, to show you what the overalls happen to be. They're not going to be. Oh God, we're so bad. We're so bad. I will see you guys next time. I love you all. Shout out to my patrons, by the way. I love you all too. I will see you next time. Good God, this team is bad.